Gentlemen, synchronize swatches.
I feel like you're a little more immersed in the podcast world than I am. Is episode 0, is that kind of like, is that a thing that's normally done, or is that something you came up with?
It seems like a lot of the ones that you see a lot of like preview episodes. It just sort of like sets it up and then you start releasing episodes. So,
okay. All right. So I guess we dive into the who. Like who the hell are we, and why would anybody?
Who are these people?
Why would anybody listen to us?
Yeah. So who are you?
Well, I'm Chip Johnson. I am what am I?
I'm an unemployed filmman.
Yeah, I'm unemployed at the moment.
Yeah.
No, I work in the film and TV business. I have for about, God, it's almost been 20 years now. I got into this around 2005, I guess. So yeah, coming up on 20 years, which is kind of crazy to think about. Grew up in Tidewater, Virginia, actually where I met you, Chris. We met in high school. In 2018, I moved out to LA to pursue my filmmaking career, screenwriting especially. And like many people and many things, I got derailed by a pandemic.
Yeah.
So still pursuing that dream, but got a lot of things going on, a lot of irons in the fire. This podcast being one of them. And then got like a YouTube channel that I've had for a couple years, and I'm actually helping my girlfriend start up a vegan baking channel on YouTube. We just started that, so a lot of projects going on, a lot of potential. But yeah.
What's that? What's her show called? Because it's great. I've watched the two full length ones, and they're
it's called Bakes by Dawn. My girlfriend's name being Dawn. But it's all vegan and gluten free because she is vegan and gluten free. And I suggested, hey, let's do YouTube. It'll help get your name out there. And so yeah, they're excellent videos. Like I said, I've watched the two.
Yeah, for sure. They're I'm sitting there in the kitchen making my own dinner, but like watching the video at the same time, which I don't do a lot of. I don't sit and watch YouTube videos very often. So,
well, cool.
Anyway,
we appreciate your support.
Yeah, sure.
Bakes by Dawn. Yeah. And then my other YouTube channel that I've had for a couple years, but I'm just now kind of getting serious about is under my pseudonym, My Sinister Hand, which is like my musical solo project pseudonym, but it's also where I do crazy DIY projects and fix-it videos with like retro technology and like Walkmans and other obsolete crap, other esoteric shit.
Yeah.
But what about you, Chris?
So my name is Chris Gregory. I live in the aforementioned Tidewater area of Virginia. So we're on the opposite coasts. I've actually worked in the sign industry for about 20 years, or with a little gap in the middle there at this point. I was building stuff when I was younger. Now I just manage people for the most part in projects. And when I'm not doing that, I have a couple of children, and I've done musical projects over the course of the past 20 years or so throughout my adult life, basically just off and on. We did a podcast about a decade ago, Chip and I did, called The World It's Ass, and it covered Chip's travels around the world when he set out to do so years ago. So we have that podcast up as well. So just little projects like that, little audio projects like that on the side, just to, distract.
So we're not completely green.
Yeah, we've done this a little bit.
We haven't done anything podcasting like a little bit.
Yeah. We haven't done any kind of like, formatted recapping, reviewing kind of thing before, but we're not green to the medium of podcasting. So
let's talk about why we set out to do Parker Lewis of all
things. Yeah, I started watching the show when it was originally airing when I did live in Germany for a time when I was younger, and we watched this on Sky TV, which was the British satellite channel that we received living in Germany, and I guess. Yeah, everything was delayed a little bit over there, but I do remember watching this in early 1991, Parker Lewis Can't Lose. It's kind of based on Ferris Bueller, and you can pick up on that. I mean, aside from the overt references, you can kind of pick up on that vibe, and I'm pretty sure I picked up on that vibe at the time, but it's just, it just spoke to me as a young 13-year-old or whatever I was at the time. This, these characters and the cartoonish humor. So when you and I actually met in high school, and I guess I could bat the ball back over to you to talk about your early Parker Lewis experiences, because it ties into when we actually met each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think we met through a mutual friend because we all wanted to start a band. But I think after we met and had the shared love of music and wanting to start a band, we also discovered a shared love of the show Parker Lewis, I think, and that type of humor, that absurdist humor. I think we both were both attracted to, and I think that's definitely what helped solidify our friendship early on.
And I remember that was a it was on during the summer one year, and I remember watching it a lot, and then like immediately that was my routine in the morning in the summer, was like I'd wake up, watch the 2 episodes that were on USA Network and syndication, and then we'd probably hang out for the rest of the day or whatever. So, and that was very early on in the friendship. So that was,
Yeah, you'd wake up. This was before I had a job, or maybe I'd already lost my first job. I don't know what it was, but I just remember being unemployed that summer. Yeah, wake up. There was like a 1 hour block, so 2 episodes or whatever on the USA Network. Watch that, and then I feel like we just. I mean, this is 90s as fuck, but we'd go to the fucking mall.
Yeah.
We were like fucking mall rats.
Yeah,
and we,
pretty much. Go to the mall, go to the thrift stores.
Yep.
Go to Burger King.
Yep. But yeah, that's how we wasted our summers.
Yeah.
Or at least 1 or 2 summers there in high school.
Yeah. Yeah. Strong foundation.
Yeah. And then I guess we did some music on the side too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, very 90s, man.
Yeah, so I mean so I guess that's why one of the reasons we picked this show for the recap is it was kind of just perfect. It's kind of integral to our friendship.
Yeah, and I mean, very early on in thinking about it, I thought Synchronize Swatches would be a great name for a show, a rewatch podcast, because it's such a it's a catchphrase from the show, and it if nothing else, people remember that about the show. They remember the show, so even more so than like Coob or Lim or any of the other stuff. Maybe the broken glass and the thumb from Musso, but the rest of it is it's always Synchronized Swatches. People remember that. So.
Everybody remembers that. Yeah.
Yeah. And each one will just be us. It'll be us recapping an episode, just going through bit by bit and talking about interrupting each other with the jokes we thought were funny or the visual gags or the references we might have missed or whatever. But we'll just be going through this episode by episode and watching, seeing how it develops, seeing how it compares with what we remember of it. The show ran for 3 years, and I'm pretty sure we've discussed it before. I don't think either one of us has seen the 3rd season, which may or may not be a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've heard bad things, but that's okay. We're gonna muscle through the rest of it. So. We're not going to.
For the sake of our listeners, we will. We will put ourselves through season 3.
Yeah, we'll put up the warning signs. We'll put cones around it if it sucks, so our listeners won't have to experience that. But
avoid this episode at all cost.
Yeah. So this show will be in an audio format and a video format. You'll be able to watch variations, I guess, slight variations, episodes on YouTube, or listen to them on whatever podcast app you use. We'll have accounts with all social medias, so you can follow that way if you prefer to. But
yeah, and as far as because some people probably want to watch the actual show. Of course, it is a little difficult to get a hold of because it's not streaming anywhere like Netflix or none of those companies are carrying it. Season 1 and season 2 are on DVD. You can find those used DVDs out there for season 1, season 2. Season 3 was never released on DVD, at least not in the States. Mm-hmm. There is a weird German Blu-ray SD on Blu-ray of the entire show, but all the title cards are in German. It does have English audio. Which you can find that out there floating around.
And that's what we're using.
And that's actually what we're using too.
We have spent money on this thing to watch the German, which, as a peek behind the curtain, we've watched a few of these, and we've done we've recorded our first couple of episodes, but these German language episodes, or the German versions or whatever, have German title cards. So we'll be having a little laugh at those rough translations as we go along, I imagine too. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. So, but as you were saying,
on YouTube, you can find people have put together playlists of the entire run of the show. And on our YouTube page, we will actually start linking to these playlists that are out there to make it a little easier for people to view these episodes ahead of time if they wish to before listening to our rewatch podcast. Yeah.
When is it available again? The 12th?
We're going to drop episode 1 on November 12th, 2024. So
that's Synchronize Swatches coming your way November 12th. Watch out, Joe Rogan.
We're coming for you.
Yeah. I can't think of any other. Watch out, This American Life. Is that still a popular one?
Ira Glass, we're coming after you.
My brother's a dead man.
My friend Jerry said you guys were going to do something really neat today.